Hello, family. It's your girl, Robin.
And your boy, Saeed.
And we are back with more cruise tips for Carnival. As if you've watched our previous videos, you guys know that we are doing a family cruise this summer. And we're so excited. We're going on Carnival with our family to celebrate our graduates. So as we get our blood family ready for our Carnival cruise, we also want to share the tips with our YouTube family as well. So today we're going to talk about staying connected on a Carnival cruise, but without blowing your budget. So before we jump into this, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below to let us know if this content is helpful. It will really help our channel, and we really appreciate it. If there's anything additional information about Carnival or any other type of vacation tips that you would like, please let us know, and we're happy to do that. But today, like I said, we're talking about staying connected, and we want to make sure that we help you save some money. So make sure you stay to the end, because we have several money saving hacks that can keep you and your whole group connected for the price, for a much lower price, or even some free tips as well. So stay tuned. So kick us off, babe.
All right. Thank you, honey. So, Wi-Fi. We all need it. I mean, the world we live in today, Wi-Fi is at times unavoidable. So, how can you take advantage of that if needed while being on a Carnival ship? Well, Carnival offers 3 primary plans for you to be able to access the internet through Wi-Fi while on a Carnival ship. So, number 1 is their super basic plan, which they call the social plan. And this runs roughly about $19 a day, and that's the pre-cruise price. Now, one thing I will say for all this pricing, this is all paying before you get on the cruise. Generally speaking, it will be cheaper for Wi-Fi packages in general if you pay for them before the cruise. If you buy it on the ship, you can get it, but it may be a little more expensive. So just want to set that.
I do have a question. If they prepay for it, they have to pay for the whole length of the cruise, right? They
Correct.
can't just say, I want it on Wednesday. Like, if
Right,
you have to
right.
say,
So the way that the Wi-Fi packages work with Carnival is if you get the package, you're paying for the package for the length of the cruise. If not, and you tap into the Wi-Fi package otherwise, and we'll get to that a little bit, then you'll get into additional roaming charges and other things that wind up could make that super expensive. So yes, if you pay for the package, it's for the length of the cruise. So the social plan, about $19 a day. It gives you access primarily to social media. So your Facebook, Instagram, the Tickety Top, all of those things will be WhatsApp, all of those social media based sites will be available to you, but no browsing, no email, no streaming. So again, super basic. Second plan that they offer is the value plan, which is roughly about $22 a day. So in addition to the social media access, you get general web browsing. You can now get into the email if you need to. And if you happen to be an Apple person, you can get on your FaceTime or, your other calls where you can visually see folks. No videos, though, and no music streaming at this point. So it's a little more elevated than the social. The last plan is their premium plan, roughly about $24 a day. And that, for the most part, covers your full internet. So it's your email, it's your social media, and then you get into your Netflix, YouTube, Spotify if you want to listen to your music, Zoom if you're taking meetings, all of those things. This premium plan is ideal for those who may need to do some work while they're on the ship, or if you are just a heavy phone, internet, media person, then the premium plan will allow for you to get access to that. So those are your 3: social, value, premium. Now, like I said earlier, the pro tip here is if you're really thinking that you're going to need Wi-Fi and need to pay for it, try to pay for it and order it before you get on the boat. Because again, it will be a little cheaper if you do it that way than waiting till you're actually on the ship.
But if you pay for it on the boat, you might have an option to get just for a particular day, right? But it's going to be higher. But if you're like, I don't want to do it the whole week.
I want to pass a day pass, something of that nature, then the boat can probably work with you there. Whereas, again, when you do it pre-cruise, it is a package.
But it's still going to be that more expensive than that price point.
Right. other caveat that we want to give before we shift to the next thing is always remember, cruise Wi-Fi is not home Wi-Fi. Hell, it's not even your work Wi-Fi. So set appropriate expectations, particularly around speed, coverage. All of that will be way different on a boat than it will be at your house. Ship Wi-Fi has improved. You know, if you're a person who's cruised for quite a while, then you probably know that Wi-Fi 10 years ago is not Wi-Fi today. But it's still not going to be the same as being hardwired into, you know, the Ethernet or whatever you might have at your house. So just make sure that if you're going to buy it, set appropriate expectations mentally to know that this is ship Wi-Fi. As good as it may be for a ship, it's not going to be what you have at home.
Yeah, and keep in mind that what can help with that is if you download stuff ahead of time. So like I use a lot of like Google Drive options, so you have the option to like work with the document offline and it'll reconnect. Also consider if you really need to work during off-peak hours, so maybe stay up late, get up early in the morning, or maybe even when one of the port days, instead of getting off the boat, you can stay on where there are less people on, and that can help improve the speed and your capacity on the Wi-Fi in most cases. So those are some hacks. If you really need to get the work done, those are some tips that can help you. All right, so what if you're like, I don't know if I need full Wi-Fi, but like us, you might be selling with a group and you want to be able to communicate with each other. Because if you have Wi-Fi, then you can communicate through like GroupMe or WhatsApp, those type of things. But if you don't, there is a cheaper option. So you definitely want to make sure, no matter what, if you get the Wi-Fi package or not, it's important to download the Carnival Hub app. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But the thing I want to talk about specifically right now is the chat feature. So there's a chat feature that each person can get. And right now that cost is about $5 a person, but that's for the entire cruise. So for instance, if it's a family of 4 and everybody has a device where they can access an app, then you would pay $20 for the whole cruise. And that way it works just like text messaging. You can text other people who have that chat feature on the cruise. That way you can save money. It works without Wi-Fi, and it's great for you to plan when you want to meet up and just to stay connected with everyone. So you don't have to get Wi-Fi to stay connected with your other people on the cruise with you.
So we've talked about Wi-Fi and you're like, not so much. And we just shared about being able to chat, even within the Carnival app. So the other thing you want to remember, though, is if you don't get the Wi-Fi plan and you're like, I'm on the cruise with these people, but not really, then you want to avoid roaming fees. How do you do that? Glad you asked. Number one, airplane mode. If you fly, you know what airplane mode is. It disconnects you from Wi-Fi, disconnects you from the towers and all of that stuff. Why that's important on a cruise ship? Because it does the same thing.
Yeah, well, this takes you from your data, not from the Wi-Fi. Yeah, so you won't mistakenly use your data.
It disconnects you from the network of that whatever phone plan.
Your provider.
And why again that's important is because if you don't turn it off, once that boat leaves land, it's now going to be searching for the closest network. The closest network technically could be the ship, because it's not your home network. It's going to get on there, but it's going to charge you an exorbitant amount of fees to stay connected. So if you don't want to catch a $200 roaming fee bill when you get back, and it does happen, and probably even we've heard of places where it's been even more for some individuals. Number one, airplane mode. Secondly, if you buy a plan and you do get the Wi-Fi, then of course, like you said, you can stay connected that way. But also what you want to do, in addition to going into airplane mode, if you want to be doubly secure, turn off roaming within your phone. If you go to your phone settings and you go to the network section, you can turn off all mobile data. And so again, that will not only keep you in airplane mode, but even if you get off the ship, it will not connect to any local network to help you avoid by accident connecting under the roaming charges for the port that you're in. So particularly if it's a port day, and you're getting off the boat, do that. And then where this also can help avoid the roaming fees is if you do use Wi-Fi. So again, if you do get the Wi-Fi package, but you don't want to be connected to your personal data, you can still use that for, like you said, WhatsApp, if you have Messenger, again, if you're
iMessage, if you're
in the Apple universe.
User, yep.
So all of those things will just help avoid those roaming fees, because again, cruise ship cell towers operate via satellite, and those roaming fees, because once you leave the port, you're now international too. So that's the whole thing. And so those charges can, like I said, can be hundreds of dollars if you don't keep that in mind. Airplane mode, turn off the roaming, grab a Wi-Fi package if you need it.
Now, if you're deciding, I think I might want to use my cell phone, what are my options? So many of the U.S. cell carriers, they do now offer international plans or even cruise plans, but make sure you just don't assume that you're covered, okay? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times with these cruise packages or the international travel passes, it can include text, calls, or data, but a lot of times you need to activate them in advance. And sometimes it also might require special settings or network selection at sea. And I know for our cell phone plan, what it does, we activate it before we go on the trip, and it costs like $10 a day.
10 to 12 bucks.
10 to 12 bucks a day. And we only get charged the day we use it. So if we keep our phone in airplane mode, our data off, but if we're at a port and we need to navigate or need to search information, then what we'll do to maximize or minimize the cost, only one of us will use our phone for that day. So we're like, hey, whose day is it to use the phone? Right. And we'll turn our airplane mode off, because we've already talked to our carrier and we know we're going to get on our bill, we're going to get charged that $12 or whatever the cost is for that day. But a couple things you want to keep in mind if you think you're going to use the international passes, specifically when you're at the port. You want to make sure that you confirm, actually on the port, or you use the cruise package. Confirm that your package includes your specific cruise ports that you're going to and your ship zones. That's important. So you got to go through the fine print. You want to check to see if the activation is automatic or do you need to enable it manually. And then just contact your carrier before your trip. Let them know where you're going. Let them know your ideas. Let them just talk you through, because you don't want to make any assumptions, and that's going to help you avoid those high pay per use rates. And if staying connected is important to you, making that quick call or stopping into the store is just going to be very helpful for you. It can help you save hundreds of dollars. So it's definitely worth it.
Right. Now, to piggyback off that, when you're in port, particularly, if you have gotten a cruise plan or an international plan through your carrier that allows for you to use your phone in port, then, you can use that and basically when you get to the port, it will automatically connect to the local network. And basically how it works, where the benefit is, particularly with data, is that a lot of plans, if you use that, they will basically let you use the data as if you were home. And so it's not some extra roaming or things like that. Now, there are a lot of plans, particularly depending on where you're sailing, that do include free roaming. So like if you're leaving from a U.S. port, and you're going to say to Mexico, certain countries in the Caribbean, or even the Bahamas, depending on the plan you have, you may be able to just connect to those networks, and it's just already included as part of your cell plan. It's not an additional charge that you would be undertaking. So again, when she talks about double checking beforehand.
So some of you may not even need to get an international plan if all of your ports are Mexico, Caribbean, or Bahamas, but you have to check to make sure.
Don't make the assumption.
Yeah.
But if that is your case, then again, you may not even need to get anything extra. But if you're going to ports that are outside of that Caribbean kind of Gulf area, then yes, double check, make sure you understand what countries are covered and all of those things. And like I said, like she said, the cost of the plan generally is 10 to 12 bucks, which if you think about that versus what you would pay with pay-per-pay rates, or if you get caught with the roaming charges, I mean, $12 a day versus maybe a $300 bill later because you didn't pay attention or didn't do your due diligence beforehand, that could be the difference. So make sure that you double check that, and so that you'll be good to go in those ports.
Now, you might be thinking, whoo, this can really add up. And it can, especially if you are a family, let's say a family of 4, and everybody wants to stay connected because we're kind of addicted to our technology right now.
Yeah.
So if your teenagers are like about to die thinking about not being connected for a week on vacation, you're like, how can we stay connected but save some money? So I have some tips for you, okay? So before I jump into that, if you haven't had a chance to do so, if you've learned something already, make sure that you like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can continue to get these tips. Like I said, they're helpful. If there's other things you want to know, let us know, because we really want these tips to be helpful for you as you prepare for your cruise. We want to make sure you have the best experience ever, because your hard-earned money, you've taken time off. You want to have a good trip. So here's some ways you can budget-friendly hacks or tips to stay connected. One thing you can do is to leverage going to a group or having a family and appoint a connection captain, right? So basically what I mean is that if there's 4 people in your room, or even if you're going with a large group, like we're going with about 20 people, maybe we decide 2 or 3 people within our group will get the plan, and we'll get the Wi-Fi plan, and we'll all chip in to help them pay for that plan, and they'll be the connection captain. Meaning that if they need to send messages to family members that are not traveling, or if they need to search information for ports or excursions, or if you need them to be able to send a quick email, that one person can be the designated tech person for the family, or the representative for the group or the family. And that way everyone else can stay in airplane mode, and you're only paying for one package. So that's definitely an option. You have that person that likes to be kind of in control of everybody anyway. So let them be the connection captain. Or you have that tech guru in the family that everybody goes to. They can be it. The other thing you can do is leverage free Wi-Fi imports. So a lot of depending on where you're going, a lot of, even at the port, they offer free Wi-Fi, or you can find cafes or restaurants. That's a tool or a feature they use to pull people into their business. So you can check and see, they'll usually say free Wi-Fi like in the window. So you can use those time periods to, upload any of those photos, check your emails, or quickly call home over a Wi-Fi app. But I do want to caution you to be careful when you're on free Wi-Fi, because usually those are open networks that other people can possibly see the things that you are sharing or doing. So I would avoid checking financial and other confidential information at these ports with the free Wi-Fi. But you definitely, if you want to check in on your social media, upload photos, or just send a quick email or check a message, that can be done quickly and easily at the ports. And especially if you have an itinerary that's really port heavy, we have 3 port days back to back to back. So those, you can be checking that every day once you get to those ports. That's something to consider.
Right. Now, so we've given you a lot of information about Wi-Fi plans, how to avoid roaming, appointing a connection captain, and checking your cell plan for your carrier to see if that might be something to take advantage of. But before you sail, one other thing that we want to share with you about how you can save a couple of bucks, and again, not have to necessarily buy a plan just to do this stuff. Download items before you leave. Because remember, like I told you a few minutes ago, the Wi-Fi on the ship is not the Wi-Fi at home. So if you're trying to download, movies, TV shows, maybe you want to have a playlist of music, podcasts, apps, such as the Carnival Hub app, Google Maps, audiobooks. I mean, anything that you think you would download, whether it's to use on the way to the ship, maybe in the plane, or while you're on the boat and you want to read or just relax, try to download that stuff before you leave.
And can I reiterate one thing? You mentioned it, but I want to make sure that people heard you say the offline Google Maps. So that can be very helpful on your port days when you're trying to navigate. If you don't have like a planned excursion, but you don't want to get the Wi-Fi or the data package, you can actually, there's a downloadable version of Google you can use that you can navigate. So that's really important. I want to make sure that everybody really understands what that means.
And then again, if you preload your content, if you go ahead and download it before you leave, then if that was going to be the only reason you were going to get, say, the Wi-Fi package or use a cell phone plan,
or at least the premium package, because the premium allows the streaming,
then you can avoid that. So again,
or you can lower your plan. So you might be like, well, if I download it on my Netflix, and I know we have premium YouTube, so we're able to download videos too. You can be like, I don't need the premium plan, but I might can do the social or the value plan. Or you might decide you don't need a plan at all.
Right. Because again, like I said, onboard internet is onboard internet. So don't wait to download stuff once you're on the ship, because it could take forever. And additionally, for the families, if you have small children, or if you have children, period, and you're out here with the tablets and all of that, make sure you download the tablet with the games and videos and all that stuff ahead of time. Because just like the adults, it's going to be cheaper and just more efficient for you to do all that at home before you leave than having to pay to do that while you're on the boat.
Absolutely. So knowing that you have your cell phones and all that, just want to give you a few quick reminders about cruise tech essentials. Now, we did do a whole video about things that you need to pack and things that you should not pack, that we talked about many of these in detail. So we're going to link those videos here to make sure you check them out. But just as a general reminder, if you're going to use those cell phones in that data package, you want to make sure that you bring a portable charger or a power bank, because sometimes on port days, you can be away from an outlet all day long. Even on sea days, if you're hanging by the pool or something.
Other areas of the ship,
so make sure you have that portable charger or power bank. Then also, the cruise ships have limited plugs. So you might need to find, if you have a lot of technology, if everybody's bringing their technology, you might have to find ways to charge multiple things at a time, even when you're in the room. So you can bring something like a USB charging hub. You also can bring a power strip, but it's important to know the type you can bring. You cannot bring a surge protected power strip on cruise lines. You have to bring a non-surge power strip. And we'll put one in our Amazon link below so that you can check that out. You also might just want a phone stand, a compact phone stand you can fold down so that you can watch content, maybe on the pool. You don't have to hold the phone up in front of you the whole time. And there's some of the stands they have that go around your neck.
Now it's fancy.
It's real fancy. Also, remember that Wi-Fi can always be spotty and you always want to be safe. So make sure you take screenshots of your key documents. So you want to take screenshots of your passport, any of your excursion confirmation info, any of your port info. Screenshot it so you don't need Wi-Fi or data to access those things, so that you have those in case of emergency.
And then last but not least, and again, we thank you for getting to this point in the video. We appreciate you. Hopefully this info has been helpful. So let us know, again, comment below, let us know if something valuable here. But you might be the person that has gotten to the end of this video and said, I don't want none of that.
And that's completely understandable.
If you want to disconnect totally and just be off the grid for however long you're on that cruise boat, that is okay. There is no judgment for doing that either. So let's not.
And I actually think that's healthy.
Let's not forget that cruising is one of the premium times, one of the best chances to unplug, relax, be present, enjoy the people that you're with. Again, like she stated a couple minutes ago, we are in a society now where everybody, their phone is their hand. You might as well have just cut this off and just put the phone there, because that's how people treat it. So you may decide that after getting all this great information, you're like, you know what? I don't want to fool with none of it. Disconnect. Enjoy the ocean. Enjoy the scenery. Take advantage of the activities and things that are on the boat. Reconnect with people, or sleep. Get some rest.
Let your mind rest. Meditate.
Get in that beach chair and chill.
Yeah, we are overstimulated as a society, so sometimes it's good to disconnect.
Right.
You don't always have to be reachable. That's okay.
No.
And that's kind of the point of a vacation, to get away so you can recharge, and then you can show up as your best self when it's time to get back to the real world, because it's going to come to you hard when time is over. There's
no shame in saying, you know what, this phone about to get turned off, and I will look at it again when we get off the boat at the end.
That is completely fine.
That's fine.
So whether you're planning to stay fully connected or you want to unplug completely, a little planning goes a long way, like making some of those calls beforehand, checking and make sure that you're getting the right plan, prepaying so that you have a lower price. That can really just help you avoid those surprise charges, can help you save money and make you cruise with confidence and not getting hit with bills later on that's going to ruin your whole vacation. So like we said, make sure if this video helped you. We hope it did. We hope it gave you valuable information. Make sure you like it. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you can check out all of our other videos that we've been doing about cruise day, Carnival Cruise Day, as we prepare for our trip. And let us know below, what are your plans? Are you planning to unplug? Or are you going to stay connected?
Right. And again, no judgment either way. We're curious. We want to know.
Yeah. Right. Everybody likes a different type of vacation.
So again, thank you for that. More videos to come, so stay tuned, and
happy cruising.
Peace.